we started getting assigned books at school.
Yeah.
And I think that was actually what really stopped me from reading. Now that I think back about it, like it took the enjoyment of reading out, because you'd have to read the book and then do an oral presentation, a deconstruction, an essay on, the themes in it, which, I wasn't reading for the pure enjoyment. I was reading because I was forced to. So I had this period where I was like, I must hate books because I'm not enjoying reading them. Just the difference between, say, books and audiobooks. In audiobooks, you're getting so much more information because it's the speaker's intonation, how they're pronouncing different words, how they're saying things, like the dramatic pauses they're leaving and whatnot.
It'd be books like that where they're unnecessarily long for no good purpose, because then I feel like I'm wasting time.
Yeah.
Like if I'm reading it with a book, you're going to be taking up time, especially in busy lives. You don't want to be, reading for 4 hours and you pick up that, I don't know, the color blue is blue.
Yeah.
I would be annoyed if I read for 4 hours to just confirm that. Like, that would just be like, no, I didn't need to know that.
It'd be funny if like the ending was like, it's actually green.
It's actually red. You've been lying to the whole time.
Anticipation can definitely make a book worse. So if you've heard it hyped up too much, it can be a little bit lackluster.
Yep.
So I found that with it's not Nick Bostrom's Superintelligence. When I read that, it just I enjoyed some parts of it, but it's almost like you suck the fun out of thinking about robots that could be sentient,
artificial intelligence and that sort of thing. And the interesting thing is, again, that one is to me, it's a super interesting topic, and I know what you mean. I've heard it in multiple podcasts about. Great book, you should read it. It talks about all this.
Yeah. And
then you kind of talked a little bit about it, and it sounds like
yeah,
it didn't really hit the mark at all.
Sometimes you don't have to enjoy a book to really have it influence your thinking. Mm-hmm. And one of the ones for me that really stands out was Free Will by Sam Harris.
Yep.
When I was reading that book, I really, really disliked it.
Okay.
And I could see myself making... and essentially he argues in the book why he believes free will is not even an illusion. It's just
not a thing.
It's nothing that should be taken seriously. And for me, I really struggled against that when I was initially reading it and thinking he could be wrong in this way. This is why this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it has influenced my thinking a lot. And I'd say if I reread it now, I'd probably be like, oh, okay, this is a good book. But when I was reading it, it was tough going. I didn't particularly enjoy it.
Yeah, okay. But one of the things I was kind of looking at, because I have read this before in a couple of the ways you can speed read, because one of the things, and there's a couple of notes here, but what they sort of talk about is if you use your hand or a card or something to force yourself to speed, to read the words a little bit quicker, you can read through.
Yeah.
Essentially almost skimming the words and picking up the things that help you out.
Yeah.
I dislike doing that with books, because I guess there's the enjoyment of a book that you get from reading it and you're kind of taking time off. But I think it's sometimes if you read it at a slower pace, you also extract the data and kind of process it in your mind and, build connections to it and go, okay, I can see how this reflects to this, or you can, connect it to other ways.
Yeah.
And I think with speed reading, you don't really get that specific connection.